The autumn wind is a
cat. Welcome in everyone to another session of Silverback Therapy. I'm your non-licensed therapist, Lobe Dog, and joining me today is my emotional support cat, Mocha, or Moki for short, who does not give a damn about me.
Nope.
And we're going to give you our thoughts on the Raiders draft this year. Ain't that right, Moki?
Yeah.
Well, isn't someone a sourpuss? What do you get after a fantastic free agency and a great draft weekend?
A lot of delusional and hopeful Raider fans.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, Raiders kicked out the draft by picking the guy we hoped and wished they would in Fernando Mendoza. There was definitely something in the air that night. The stars were bright, Fernando. And that something was hope. The Raiders taking Mendoza ushers in a new era for the Silver and Black. And honestly, I know I shouldn't, but dare I say, I'm starting to feel hopeful again. And I don't know about you, but I've already pre-ordered my Mendoza jersey. I am beyond excited for this kid to turn this team around. And I know better than to get my hopes up and get excited. But gosh dang it, I can't help it, dude. Things are looking too good right now.
You better wait till he proves it on the field.
He's most likely going to be sitting behind Kirk Cousins for that first year. But who knows, maybe in training camp or once training camp starts, Mendoza will pop off, go crazy, mend much better into Clint Kubiak's offense, and just take the starting job from the jump. But we'll just have to impatiently wait and see. We're going to bounce around a little bit and not go in the order in which guys were picked for convenience sake. So we're going to start with Trayden Stukes and Dalton Johnson, two safeties from Arizona.
Wait, these guys already played together? Wow, Spytek was cooking.
Yes, he was. Taking both of these guys helps add some depth to a safety room who was desperately lacking last year.
Already having that camaraderie and familiarity will help a lot too.
Exactly. These guys already know each other. They both already know how each other plays and can bounce off of each other to be more successful in coverage. Next, we got Kieran Crawford. The Raiders traded away Tyree Wilson on the third day of the draft to the New Orleans Saints for an extra 5th round pick.
Good riddance.
Shh, Moki, you can't say that. The Tyree defenders will hear you. All jokes aside, we all know taking Tyree Wilson 7th overall in the 2023 draft was not a good idea.
Thanks, Josh McDaniels.
After playing 3 seasons with the team, Tyree Wilson never really showed any improvement. He flashed a couple times on a couple different plays, but a couple different plays doesn't amount to the expectation of a first-round draft pick, especially in 3 years. The Raiders ended up drafting a potential replacement in Kieran Crawford, defensive end out of Auburn, and if this guy works out, things could be looking up for the defensive line. After watching some of his highlights, I feel this guy could be a pretty decent replacement.
This team really needs someone who complements Max on the other side, so hopefully this guy is a good fit.
Yeah, I hope so, and if Crawford ends up being a good defensive end on the other side of Max and we find a good nose tackle, Rob Leonard's 3-4 defense could look pretty nasty. Unfortunately, folks, Mocha's being a little grumpy today, so we're going to bring in our next guest feline, Milo. Milo, come on down! Alright folks, we got Milo here. He's going to offer his expertise on the rest of the draft picks. Now, we got Trey Zune III in the next round.
Ooh, fancy.
Zune played tackle over at Texas A&M with a couple plays at center as well, but since we got center shored up with Tyler Linderbaum this offseason, he'll probably just go wherever they see fit if he's a good piece. Then in the 4th round comes what could potentially be a steal for the Las Vegas Raiders in Jermod McCoy, cornerback out of Tennessee. Now, Jermod has an ACL injury in 2025, which lowered his draft stock, but in 2024, he performed very well with multiple interceptions, had the pass breakups, and was just all over the ball, all over the place on defense, and played very, very well.
I heard he's really fast too.
Yeah, dude ran a 4.37 at the combine, despite his knee injury, so I think he's good to go. Raiders took 2 more offensive players later in the draft in Mike Washington Jr. out of Arkansas and Malik Benson out of Oregon. Go Ducks. Mike Washington Jr. could potentially be an RB2 for the Raiders to help Ashton Jeanty bring the run game back from the grave. Because last year, that shit was fucking awful. He's fast, he's big, and he could potentially be that 1-2 punch that Clint Kubiak likes to use in his offense. Malik Benson was a good receiver while he was at Oregon, but I don't know if he has a starting role on the Raiders quite yet. Maybe he will shine during training camp. Everyone's been hung up on the Raiders having a true wide receiver one lately, mostly because we have Jalen Nailor, Jack Betch, Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton, and we haven't really seen what Nailor can do yet, but Tucker, Betch, and Thornton didn't really show much last year, but maybe after being under Clint Kubiak and different coaching, they can shine like we thought they would. Because last year, I wouldn't pin their performances on them. Coaching was just bad all around last year, so I don't blame Betch or Thornton for not shining and showing potential. So let's really judge them after this season under Coach Clint. Finally, we have the Raiders' last two defensive picks in Hezekiah Masses and Brandon Cleveland.
Do you think these guys will start anytime soon?
I sure hope so. We drafted them for a reason, so hopefully they have starting potential. But if they don't, hopefully they just provide some good depth to the positions they're playing. Well, Milo, that's it for the 2026 draft. What did you think overall?
I would give the Raiders an A ranking in the draft this year. Raiders always seem to win in the offseason, so let's see what they do with it when it really matters.
Honestly, if we have another losing season, but the players that we do have show potential, I'll take that as a win. The team has been bad for 20 plus years now. What's another 2-3 years of waiting for this team to really mesh and come together? But under Clint Kubiak and with Fernando Mendoza in the building, I don't foresee this team being bad for much longer. Well, there you have it, folks. Me and Milo are going to go listen to Fernando by ABBA for the 500th time. But in the meanwhile, y'all stay safe and we'll see y'all in our next session. Say bye, Milo.
Bye, losers.
No animals were hurt in the making of this production.